recognized.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I yield 3 minutes to the gentleman from Texas, Mr. Roy.
Gentleman from Texas is recognized.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I thank the gentleman from Ohio for yielding. 185 years ago today in San Jacinto, Texas, the great state of Texas won its independence from Mexico. General Sam Houston launched a surprise attack against Santa Anna and routed their forces, and then ultimately was able to negotiate with Santa Anna for his freedom the treaty that resulted in the founding of the Republic of Texas. I'm a proud Texan. I'm sitting here 185 years later, recognizing that my state, the state that I'm proud to represent, is under siege. It is under constant siege on a daily basis by dangerous cartels, but worse than being under siege by dangerous cartels, it is under siege by a Democrat president who refuses to do his constitutional duty to secure the border of the United States. That is the fact. That this president, obligated under the Constitution, literally refuses to carry out and exercise his constitutional duty to defend our borders in Texas, where our communities are under siege, where our schools are overrun, where our hospitals are being inundated, where our ranches are having people cross them, where dangerous narcotics like fentanyl are pouring into our communities. This is what is happening to my state of Texas, the 185th anniversary of the battle at San Jacinto. One has to wonder whether the agreement that Texas made when entering this union remains worth it when the state of Texas is suggesting, or the state of Texas is under siege by an administration that refuses to defend our border. That is a question that we Texans are continuing to wrestle with, because it is the duty of this president and the duty of the federal government to secure the borders. And when I look at Texans who have lost loved ones at the hands of people here illegally, when I look at families who have families destroyed by fentanyl and dangerous narcotics, when I look at trafficking of human beings into the sex trade in the state of Texas, where stash houses are being run by cartels, and then I watch as my Democratic colleagues want to put up every roadblock to security and launch every single way possible to prop up cartels, prop up the ability of our border to be exploited, and refuse to actually do the job necessary to secure the border. It is incumbent upon this body to speak with one voice that we are going to defend the borders of the United States and do our duty under the Constitution, while states are feeling the brunt every single day in very real terms. With that, I yield back.
Fired. Members are reminded to refrain from engaging in personalities toward the president. The gentleman from New York is recognized.
I yield myself 1 minute.
The gentleman is recognized for 1 minute.
I'm going to have a lot more to say about this bill a little later, but I have to respond to one point that the gentleman just made. He said he was considering whether the agreement to enter the Union was valid or was worth it. He's not the first to consider that. John Calhoun considered it. Others considered it, and they tried it, and the result was a civil war. So I certainly hope that no one is thinking of that again. I yield back.
Gentleman yields back.
I reserve, rather.
Gentleman reserves. Gentleman from Ohio.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.